Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Karen. It is Sunday, June the 5th, and I am recording this video before I wrap up and ship off this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Renaissance Romance journal to Australia. And it should go tomorrow, hopefully. I understand priority shipping is reopened again to Australia, so that's going to be really helpful. So if you are watching this video, it will have arrived at its new owner's place. And in the meantime, I'm just keeping it as a private video listing in my YouTube channel. So welcome, and let's talk about this beautiful project. I did a Renaissance Romance journal about 10 or 11 months ago. That was also a commissioned request, custom order. And I did a slightly different twist on this one. And I thought, you know, I'm naming it Renaissance Romance, and it is about the Tudor family and Henry VIII and all his many wives. So there's got to be an element of romance there. So that's kind of what I ran with this time. And the little photo that I chose for the cover is actually Henry VIII and Jane Seymour in the garden. Well, they both got crossbows, so it's more than a garden, it's probably out in the woods. I just thought it was so sweet and so lovely. So this is removable. The new owner can replace it with anything that she would like, or just leave it out. I've done one of these little tuck pockets on the front. So the size is 8.5 by 6 inches, super full. It's, I'm gonna say 115 to 120 page sides. Spine is 2 3/4 inches, so it's very, very full, but it does weigh under 2 pounds. So I'm hoping that's gonna help for the shipping cost. We have some beautiful, beautiful lace here on the side. And that is from one of my vintage scarves that I've been cutting up. I've got a piece of Sheila's beautiful, exquisite embellished trim and bits of the scarf peeking out here and there. I used a tapestry sample, remnant again, and I left the edges raw this time. I just went around with my serger before and after I attached it to the cover to just give it a bit of a rough edge, and I'm really pleased with it. We've got a beautiful vintage lace tie closure, lots of goodness inside. And then on the side she requested no buttons, so it's just hand sewn into, the signatures are hand sewn into the spine. And on the back it's very plain except for this beautiful vintage trim. And this feels like velvet. It's just so luscious. We also have a removable tassel, which I had on the first journal that I did in the Renaissance theme. And it is just a big busy tassel with the fleur-de-lis design at the top, and I've just added a cross with a beautiful piece of bling. So that is removable. And I've just added this here to create the mood. I love tassels, and I have a lot of them. I have a lot of vintage furniture in my house, and anything with a knob or a handle on it is decked. I love tassels. And so does my little granddaughter. So some of them have to protect from her because they have pearls and beads on them. So, you know, there you go. Us girls like our bling. And there's some beautiful beads on the bottom, which I will show as we come closer to the pages. So let's go inside. I've used the same kits as I did with the first one, which were about 4 of them. I'll try and include them in the description below the video, as well as I got the Illuminations, one of the Illuminations digital kits from Lorna Taylor at Tailor Made Journals. Absolutely perfect for this theme. It's amazing. So there she is. It's got fabric inside as well. And what I did was I added the fabric to the inside cover first. And then because the outside piece was serged on the edges, I added it last. And I left this beautiful vintage or antique lace here, this open to allow for the closure. And then I thought, you know, it's fine. Nothing's gonna fall out that way because it's got the bump from the closure lace holding it in place. So that is a card for the new owner. And then I've done the same in the back. So here we go with the first page. And some beautiful embellished trim from Sheila at Boho Daydreams. This is a little flip out. And it's got a tiny envelope inside. This signature is more the House of Tudor, and the second signature is more focused on, the images are more focused on the wives of Henry VIII. It's a sweet little image that I have rubber stamped and ink embossed. A lot of gold and gold and gold in this journal. Just a sweet little booklet that Andrea can write on or tuck something else inside the envelope if she would like. And this little booklet here is of a sweet little girl, young lady, stamped and embossed with a crown that says Queen. Some gold embossing on the corners here. What I found was I did this before I added any embellishments or lace to the pages. And the ink, once it was embossed, kind of showed through to the other side. So I only did it on a few pages. And then I continued on with gold embossing on a lot of the tags. So these are mostly just journaling cards. And I've just layered them up with some scrapbook paper, some vintage music paper, and the images from the kits. Some vintage lace and a vintage applique. Beautiful, beautiful page here that can be journaled on with those lines. And this I love, this gold lace trim, whatever you call it. It is modern, but I truly love it. I think it went perfect with this journal. The word journal here. And then I've got some tabs. I've got 3 in each signature. They're Sheila's Velvet. And then I've just got some braided trim over top. And then most of these little dangles were given to me and included with a soft journal cover swap that we did in our Facebook group, Boho Daydreams. And these particular ones were made by Olga Gonzalez. So thank you, Olga. Your lovely dangles are going all the way to Australia. The colors were just perfect for this journal. Here I've got a large die cut of a cathedral window, and I've put acetate paper behind it, and just a journaling card with some gold embossing on the back. And then when I put it back into place here, I just try and make sure that the image of the lady shows through one of the window panes, just to make it more interesting. Some more of Sheila's beautiful gold bling. This is also a tuck spot if Andrea would like to put something inside there. Some more gold embossing on the corners. This is from a set of Bohemian stamps that I have. It just, the shape was perfect for this style of journal. I have tea-dyed quite a bit of the lace pieces from this journal and ran some ribbon through here. One of the journaling cards backed on a parchment paper, and I've done some stenciling with my Indian gold Nouveau Mousse. If you've ever used it, it's great. And I use it with a wet brush, sponge, like one of these applicators, and just press it through the stencil to get a little bit more of a sheer look, not so heavy as some can be. This is vintage or antique German book page and some sheet music, vintage sheet music. Some more of the gold stamping. You can apply it as heavily as you want to. This one is quite sheer, and this one is a little heavier. It just gives it more texture, but obviously can still be written on the page. One of the corner pockets from the kit, and some scrapbook paper with some vintage book page, and one of the images from the kit. There's one of the illuminations pages from Tailor-Made Journals, and some stamping of a rose, some lined journal paper, and this is a small tuck if she would like to put something in there, some stamping. I love the acanthus leaf and the swirls, flourishes I think they're called. A piece of Sheila's beautiful fabric embellishment. This is like a dark burgundy color with the gold sequins on it, really stunning. And then I've just added some of these half pages for extra journaling space from the illuminations. That style of writing is just really complements the era of the journal. This spread, I love this color. Rose, this is carnations. And this is an image of Elizabeth of York. Some gold stenciling there, and a piece of beautiful velvet with braid trim, and one of these sweet little dangles. I just added a Fuzzy Cat image from one of the kits and a tiny tag with this flower burst edge punch and some gold embossed stamping on the top. Beautiful gold lace. I get that from a fabric store in Sacramento that sells a lot of vintage lace and trims and fabrics that you will never find anywhere in other big box fabrics places. Some scrapbook paper, vintage music paper, gold embossing, and one of the images from the kit. And I got some new sari silk in this beautiful sage or moss green that I've just used as a topper here. More stamping in the corner, beautiful lace with some ribbon threaded through, another page of the illuminations script, and a piece of Sheila's gorgeous royal blue silk embellished trim. Isn't that stunning? How perfect for a pocket. Matches this page, coordinates so lovely, and just a very plain tall tag with some gold embossing on the top. And that is one of my favorite pages. And here we've got the center of the first signature. I've got these large pieces of beautiful embossed paper that was given to me by Georgianne. Perfect colors for this journal. And I've used some sari silk as a topper for that one, and some of the vintage scarf for this one. This is Catherine of Aragon, Henry VIII's first wife, whom apparently he loved the most. So if history is correct, then that may be true. That's why I chose to put her opposite his photo in the center of the first signature. Some beautiful lace that I've just tea dyed. And this looks like a prince in all his shining armor. Just another simple tag with a shield, some vintage German book page, backed onto parchment paper, and some stamping on the side. I love the different size of pages. I try not to use all the same size. And some more lace that I've just tea dyed. Another piece of Sheila's beautiful silk embellishment. Just I felt it picked up the colors in here so well. I know what I wanted to say with this one. The reason I used this piece was because it really complemented the bodice on this lady's dress. I think it's stunning. And if you look at the papers here, it even complements this paper that I've used on that side of the page. Anyhow, I digress. So we've got another journaling card here. some gold stamping and embossing on it. And I've got a belly band pocket here that I've added some tags to, and some gold Nouveau Mousse applied with a stencil. Some very vintage lace here, and this beautiful chiffon fabric. Gorgeous. Some gold lace trim at the bottom here. And I have some metallic paper that I just ran through the embossing folder. This is an older die that I have, and I just made it into a window. Those are from Heartfelt Creations when they were still together with Spellbinders, so they're very old. Just a cute little photo depicting Henry VIII as a interactive father, which I thought was really sweet with his children. Journaling card. A lot of the colors that I chose were kind of green and purpley burgundy. This one is a bit of a mismatch, but I love it. This is the balance of that other piece I showed with you. It's the burgundy velvet with the gold sequins on top. And just a lovely photograph here, backed onto some German book page and some gold stenciling. One of Sheila's beautiful, well, two of her pieces of silk textile. And this is just some vintage trim that I have that I thought coordinated nicely with it. And I do like the green of the next page tie cascading over the side behind it. This is a piece of very, very old lace. I'm pretty sure it's antique. It's so delicate. It's absolutely beautiful. I just used it as a pocket here and included this image of Elizabeth of York on some Italian paper that I have, and just edged it with gold Sharpie. Used my slot punch here and some gold embossing on the back, some moss green crinkled seam binding with some beautiful beads on the side. I like it when those just drape over the side. And then we've got some stamping here, some beautiful crocheted lace. I've just added a bit of Fabri-Tac here to keep it from unraveling some more. So if you handle these, you can feel that they're secure. They're not going to unravel anymore. Beautiful golden stenciling here, and another piece of Sheila's woodland velvet trim at the bottom with some braided trim, and another one of Olga's sweet little dangles. The Illuminations page there. And I've got this, I don't know what you call it, this color would be marigold. It's just so lovely. That's vintage lace as well. I got it at a vintage and antique outdoor market. Another journaling card with the gold embossing, and that just tucks neatly into this side tuck here. When I'm starting a project like this, and I know it's going to be 2 signatures, I generally make about 20 to 24 journaling cards that can be tags, about the same style. So it seems like a lot in the beginning, but you divide that by 2, and that's only like 10 to 12 in each journal signature. So they do go a long way, and I really like this shape. All I did was use some, I think is it Sizzix? Framelits? Or was this Spellbinders? It might be. Anyhow, I just take the biggest die, and then I just cut out music paper, book paper, parchment paper, and just go for it, and then add the images from the kits. I didn't add much vintage lace to the tags this time because I was using it on the page sides. And this is a sweet little image of Henry VIII and his sisters. Some stamping. Here is some lovely vintage paper that I have. Extra journaling space. And some more gold embossing. Beautiful photo on this envelope. What I've done is just taken one of the pages from the digital kit that I used and made it into an envelope. And it's just got some script stamping, not script stamping, scroll stamping on the back. And beautiful images on this side of the page. I've used some more of the Italian paper that I have. I bought that in a roll, and I really love the colors. It's beautiful with the gold edging. And this is a picture of Princess Elizabeth, the future queen. Some gold embossing on the back, tucked into this beautiful pocket of fancy, fancy gold lace. Some more stenciling, double ruffle lace here. And this pocket, I got these recently, these pieces, and I'm using them as pockets. I tea-dyed them, they were white, and then just used some of this scrapbook paper, did some gold embossing on there, and tied it with some beautiful chocolate brown sari silk. And that is coming to the end of the first signature. Got a little booklet here, just with some images of the 6 wives in color and then in sepia. So lots of room for extra journaling on this page. Also, this one flips out. And we've got another small envelope from one of the kits. And I have stamped on an index card, tiny little word note. So I've tea-dyed that index card. And this leaves a lot of room for journaling, if that's what Andrea chooses to use it as. Signature 1. Oh, I forgot to show the beads. I always forget. So they're the same in both signatures except for the charms on the bottom. And these ones have, this one has a cross, and this one just has a rose on this beautiful gold charm here. Purple and green and gold beads. So the second signature is more images of the wives. So when you lay it out like this, to use it, it lays pretty flat, much flatter. The closer you do your signatures together, that doesn't happen so much. And then it's very, very tight in here. So I've learned to leave, you know, a lot of space. Makes your spine a little bit wider, but I'm fine with that. Some of Sheila's beautiful gold mirrored trim here. And another flip out. This sweet little booklet of this girl and a castle. Young lady. Young damsel. And a gold embossed crown in that pocket. Another little envelope. And this one has that same image. These are actually from some Sleeping Beauty stamp sets that I have with good intentions of making a princess journal. Down the road, lots of ideas in my head. Never enough time to get them all done, but I have to plan these things. Keep my mind busy, right? Some more gold embossing on the edges of the page. This is tea-dyed. This was originally white lace. Some gold stenciling with the Nouveau Mousse. And another one of Olga's Sweet Little Dangles, a gold one on Sheila's gold velvet here. And some braided trim. It's a vintage napkin that I've used. Cut it into a pocket size. And I love this cutout shape. It's just so beautiful. I didn't even finish this edge off because it's not really fraying. And if it does, that's fine. This is some gold embossing here. And just a journaling card. Got some beautiful chocolate brown vintage lace, scalloped lace on this side. And I did some paper punching with, actually it's not a paper punch, it's die cuts. It's Tim Holtz. He's got a series of, a set of 4 lace designs that you can use. This is vintage book page and one of the images from the kit backed onto parchment paper. Some more gold embossing in the corners. And another pocket of the green metallic paper that I've embossed. Added some gold lace trim. Some more gold, elaborate gold lace there, and some chiffon trim. A tiny little journaling card with a gold fleur-de-lis embossed on the back. And some more of this beautiful lace trim that I've tea dyed and added some gold ribbon to. This is his first wife, Catherine of Aragon. I've just done some ruching here of the chiffon and added one of Sheila's tiny little bling flowers and parchment paper on the back, and some stamping at the bottom. Gorgeous Illuminations writing page. This royal blue applique trim is just stunning. I was able to, I still had this left from the first Renaissance journal that I made, so I used it again. Got a tiny little charm here that says made with love, some beautiful gold delicate ribbon, and some gold artisan paper that's already embossed, and another image of his second wife, which was Queen Anne Boleyn. So if you read the story and the history, it's just so truly remarkable. And I actually found it quite interesting that it's, you know, the royal family of England, and right now we're celebrating Queen Elizabeth's Platinum Jubilee. Imagine being a monarch for 70 years. Imagine even living 70 years. That's just so remarkable. I am Canadian by birth, so I'm a Commonwealther. I support the Queen and the royal family. It just makes it more meaningful, as Australia is a Commonwealth country as well. This is an image of Jane Seymour, the third wife of Henry VIII, and I've just used some vintage music paper, did some paper punching along the side and added some ribbon. A stunning piece of Sheila's embellished textile pocket here in a soft green color. And then I've used another one of my Heartfelt Creations dies and just left it open so that I could include it as a tuck spot, and a little journaling card here with the word Queen and a crown stamped and embossed on the back. This is a beautiful, beautiful silk pocket. It is so sheer. It was from I think it's a handkerchief. I don't know if it's a hanky or a napkin, but this lace is so delicate. It's just absolutely beautiful. And I added a little piece of platinum colored lace that's got the metallic threads in it, and then one of the pieces of Sheila's embellished trim, and just stitched it into place. This journaling card shows the picture of Henry VIII's fourth wife, Anne of Cleves, and I just added some gold trim to the book page, backed onto parchment paper, journaling card. A little bit of stenciling on that side. And here I've got this fringe trim in the cream color, and another one of the journaling cards made into a tag. Got some German book page here on some scrapbook paper, and one of the images from the kit, and then some gold ink embossing there. I love stamping. That's something that really was an aha moment for me, you know, decades ago when I was introduced to it. And I have loved it ever since. I've got quite a collection of wooden stamps, wooden block stamps, and then of course the newer cling stamps. Beautiful piece of Sheila's embellished trim in the red, and all these gorgeous colors with the gold. Just extra sheet of the Illuminations paper for extra journaling space. And then we've got a tab on the right hand side of the page with Sheila's velvet here, and some braided trim, and one of Olga's sweet little dangles on a bulb pin. Some stamping at the top, some more of this text paper from the Illuminations kit, a journaling card with music paper and German book page, some gold stenciling here, one of the images from the kit, and backed onto parchment paper. I didn't do any stitching of the tags this time. It does add a bit of bulk and takes a lot of time. And because I was trying to keep the weight under 2 pounds for this journal, I had to be mindful of everything that I was adding. You know, was there something that I could do that would make it not so bulky and heavy? But on the other hand, I wanted to just do it as elaborate as it deserved, because it is such a beautiful theme to do the Renaissance. I mean, look at the garments. The clothing is just stunning. This is another older die that I have from Heartfelt Creations when they were still with Spellbinders. And this is beautiful text. Extra journaling space on this side. And this is the center of the second signature. I've used some gold crinkled seam binding and added, I snuck in a couple buttons, but they're really, really unique. These are vintage. I just think they're so stunning. They take on any color, and I'm hoping she's gonna like them. If she really doesn't want buttons, she can just undo the knots and take them off. These are images of his 5th and 6th wives, Catherine Howard and Catherine Parr. So I think he had 3 wives named Catherine. Some beautiful vintage trim. These are backed onto music paper and parchment paper. And then I've got these beautiful vintage lace crocheted appliques here that still have the finishing threads on, the start and the finishing threads. I always leave those on so they don't unravel. And did a bit of stamping here. And again, the beads and the charms that I've added here are in the green and purple and gold. Got this gorgeous orangey red stone in this one, and the fleur-de-lis. Fleur-de-lis is more French, but you know, the whole Renaissance era was involved more countries than just England. And I've got another beautiful piece of Sheila's embellished sari, silk sari here. It's just so soft and beautiful. And I love this image of this angel with the fuchsia colored wings. This fabric just complemented it so beautifully. I also tied on a tiny little bead that I've got. These, they're a woman's head in the gold. I just thought they're, excuse me, so pretty. Beautiful paper by Illuminations. And extra journaling space, of course. Yeah, this is going to be tricky, so I'm just going to do that. And like so. And this is a special page. I designed this in the first Renaissance journal that I made, but I think I only used 5 holes. This one I used 7. So I've got 3 corset crosses in here tied with this. I just used purple to complement the purple of the page opposite here. And I made this tall tag out of vintage wallpaper. This stuff is so fragile, it just cracks and tears. It's crazy. So I thought this would help to protect it by just keeping it behind the pocket here. This one I did stitch on because I wanted to help make sure that the edges of the wallpaper didn't peel away. Stamped it on the back. And this is actually 2 pockets. There's two places she can put things. This particular die set is also an older one of Heartfelt Creations when they were still together with Spellbinders. I just think that's so sweet. Really love the style. The architectural style of the arches and everything is so typical of that period. Stamping of a rose, Illuminations paper. And this is modern lace here. It's just very, very sweet. I did a tall tag out of some Tim Holtz paper and just did some gold embossing on it. Sorry, stenciling. Gold stenciling with my Nouveau Mousse. And here we've got an envelope that opens right out. It's not glued together. This is an image of Henry VIII and his 6 wives. Some stamping on the side of the page edge here. And some gold embossing here. This is some stunning, stunning emerald dark green vintage lace. I got a panel of it at a vintage market once, and I'm just in love with it. It's just so beautiful. And this is an image of Queen Elizabeth I, daughter of Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn. A gold fleur-de-lis stamped and embossed on the back. And over the page here, we've got some more of Sheila's beautiful purple velvet. This dangle is, that's one that I made, attached with a bulb pin and some gold embossing, stamping. This is another of the cathedral windows, and I cut it out of the gold artisan paper and backed it with some acetate paper, clear cardstock, another little tiny envelope, some gold embossing on there. I gotta stop for a second. I'm down to 20% on my camera, my phone charge, so it was giving me a message. I wanted to read what it was saying. And this is another journaling card done with some music paper, some German book page, some stamping here, some of the gold Nouveau Mousse stenciling, and another tall tag in this beautiful vintage lace pocket. This is some artisan paper, and I just did some gold embossing on there. Beautiful Illuminations digital image. And this is rose stamping here. Some more tea-dyed lace that I've done. And beautiful gold elaborate lace on this side. Another journaling card with some gold stenciling on it. Some gold embossing here. Another page of Lorna's. That's the Illuminations paper for extra journaling space. I stamped the corners here. And this beautiful vintage lace pocket here has another envelope. This one is an image of King Henry VIII meeting Anne Boleyn. And it's just got this sweet little image that I've got of a young fellow playing the flute, following a little girl and the ducks. Just so sweet. I thought it was romantic. Young romance. That just gets tucked into here. And one more coin envelope, coin size envelope with a little journaling booklet in here, extra space for writing for her. And we've got some tan colored eyelet cotton on the side of this page. Gold embossing in the corners, and then the last page is a flip out. I've got my logo here, Vintage Elegance Inspiration. Here's a small booklet with an image of each of the wives of Henry VIII. Some paper lace in gold here using the Tim Holtz dies, and I've got another pocket with a index card that I stamped the words "Your Story Matters," and some more stamping and embossing right here. And that is the end of the journal. Isn't this just a beautiful image? I absolutely love it. I used some of the Luxe gift bag that I had and just made an envelope. I've got some pieces of leftover ephemera and images from the digital kits that she can use or not use, whichever she chooses. Some beautiful fibers. I've done another die cut out of some bronze colored artisan paper and used the gold embossing or the gold stenciling as well. And that's the end of our beautiful journal. So I thank you so much for watching and sharing my enthusiasm. I really hope the new owner's going to love it. Andrea, this was a joy to make for you. I truly, truly love this. And I'm very, very pleased with it. I'm sure you will be too. So I'll be looking forward to hearing your response when you receive it. I hope it gets to you safely and in a timely manner. So everyone have a good weekend, the rest of the weekend, and we'll be chatting again soon. Thank you for watching.